Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
And hello and welcome to episode 235 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. And this episode is being brought to you by Mark Todd, our newest Patreon supporter. You too can help support the show just like Mark. Simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month. All of our fully paid Patreon supporters get an OTB sticker and, of course, go into the wonderful Patreon Wheel of Fortune. It is through the generous support of our patrons that help us cover our hosting and production costs. And, of course, we greatly appreciate all of your wonderful support. And here at On the Bench, we are incredibly proud to be sponsored by the Scale Model Supply, who, I might mention, are celebrating their 10th anniversary. Such a wonderful milestone to hit, and we congratulate Scott and all the hard workers out there at the Scale Model Supply. Speaking of which, let's have a word from Scott himself.
Are you looking for top quality paints for your next project? Then look no further than the Scale Modeler Supply. Hi, I'm Scott, and as a passionate modeler myself, I've spent years creating the SMS product range, designing them specifically with a scale modeler in mind. We've worked extensively to develop our acrylic lacquer paint range to not only be airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, but also to be very easy to use so that anyone of any skill level can create professional results with minimal effort. Just give the bottle a good shake, pour into your airbrush and spray at 15 psi. So dive into your next project with confidence, knowing that you're backed by one of the finest hobby paints on the market. Head over to our website, scalemodeler.com.au, to check out our full range and to find your closest retailer.
Hello, welcome to the show. In the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day Julian, g'day everyone else.
Of course, Julian's here as well.
Yep, I am too.
How are we, gentlemen?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That's good. What's been happening? You've been pretty quiet, haven't you? Apart from buying stuff.
I did get an hour.
Oh.
I actually managed to get an hour of painting done.
Oh.
What'd you do?
Started blocking in the colours at the scales on the bust of the bearded dragon.
Good boy.
So, yeah.
Good boy.
Good boy. Pat on the head.
Yeah. So you've carved yourself that little area to do it?
Well, it was a little area about the size of a small child's shoebox.
That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
I prefer a lot more room.
Yeah, I know, but it's a start.
Better lighting and...
How did it feel doing it?
Weird.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah. Your airbrush skills have atrophied as well, no doubt.
Yeah, but I haven't used it. Airbrushing should be pretty fine. It's more my hand painting skills have atrophied a bit.
They were never good to begin with, though, were they?
They were all right.
That's right, better than mine.
No, I was going to say that.
I wasn't. I'm going to be polite.
I thought I'd get it first.
The other thing, I pre-ordered the new P40K from Edward.
Oh, yeah.
40 scale P40K dual boxing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that should be on its way.
Single-handedly propping up every employee over there.
Yep.
At Edward.
Well, I
had a look. I've got 15 Edward Spitfires.
Oh my God!
And this will make 12 P40s.
You're a collector now.
Yeah,
for sure. I actually went to B&A yesterday and bought some stuff as well.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Well, I was hunting for. I've got the Revell Artemis in 144th.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I need an Apollo in 144th. So I bought, there's a Revell one going. I snagged that. And I was actually hunting for the Airfix Artemis because I'm going to build a couple of them. You know, one for Artemis 2, one for Artemis 3. So I've got the Revell one. So I wanted to get the Airfix one, but still not available.
Is there much difference between the 1 and 2?
It's a big difference with the decals and the external structures. I think Airfix has some of the piping individual, whereas it's moulded on with the Revell one. But I'll be making a start on that fairly soon. I've got a couple of projects I want to clean up first. I'm making great inroads into my X-20 Dinosaur, which was a what if aircraft or space plane that NASA looked at, and I've got my V2 winged piloted version that I'm building as well at the same time.
Yep.
So once I get those two off, I'll definitely be turning my attention to the Artemis, which will be cool.
Very cool. Yeah,
So
totally agree.
got my Mojo back, which is really cool.
Yep.
What about yourself, Julian? What are you building?
Yeah. So I've got the rest of this week, well, until Friday, to finish off my Suzuki Jimny,
Yep.
which is still got a few things to do, but I should be able to tidy it up.
They are so expensive in real life for 1-to-1 version to buy.
Really?
Yeah, they're about 40 grand.
If you
Wow.
say so.
Yeah, they are. They're really expensive cars.
You're talking about because there's a 4-door version now,
Well,
which doesn't really. I don't think it really actually classifies for K car rules. But
I don't know, but geez, they're expensive to buy. Yeah.
well, in any case, yeah. So there was that, but I've also sort of started eyeballing the next project and.
Yep.
Well, doing more than just eyeballing. So what happened was, do you remember how I had the Lamborghini Miura?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
I dug that out, and then
What brand was that kit again?
how's it go?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I
That's the one with the round headlights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the round pop-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like what happened with that one was over the last couple of weeks, what I did with it was I dug it out. I looked at it, cleaned up some of the problem areas that were on it because it was still like green from when I shot paint on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I touched up those areas and then repainted it green. And then I looked at it and was like, some areas at certain angles you could tell had like a double layer of green, and then other areas didn't, so it wasn't consistent. Didn't like it. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to spray paint it all yellow. So I sprayed it a nice yellow-orange colour.
Yes, I know the
And then I
colour,
looked at it, and then I was like, I'm not sure if I like it that much, to be honest. Because a big part of it for me is like the interior colour versus the exterior colour.
Yep.
The green that I like, the metallic green, will have like a brown interior.
Mm-hmm.
But the yellow has the black interior, which
Right.
is easy, but it doesn't look great.
Yep.
It just looks bland. And I think like green and brown is kind of like a really nice combination.
Yeah, very.
So I really
very
had my
earthy.
heart set on green.
You
So-
have to go back to green, mate.
Well, that's what I did, and also because some of the yellow chipped off, like
Oh.
before, because it was only attached to like a metallic
Yep.
layer, so it didn't have much adhesion.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, geez, I'm gonna have to repaint it." So I stripped it, and then I reprimed it and repainted it in green, and it's all nice and consistent. And then I looked at it, I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot those that whole saga thing with the air intakes behind that are sort of semi-incorporated into the doors
Yes,
that I
I know,
mentioned
yep,
previously." And so I went looking for the aftermarket that I bought for it. I could only find one of those.
Oh no,
It's gone missing, so I'm gonna have to order
another one.
another set. And then I'm going to have to paint that green and match to the green that's on the car, which shouldn't be too hard, I don't think.
But speaking of wheeled vehicles, has anyone watched the latest YouTube video from Night Shift? He's done
Oh, yeah,
logging,
yeah,
the Pacific
yeah.
logging truck.
The logging truck, yeah.
Freaking awesome.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
That is
Yeah.
freaking awesome. He did the base for it this week.
Oh, okay.
Can't look at it. Absolute treat.
Yeah, I'll have to dive in and have a look at that. I'll have to dive in and have a look at that. Very cool.
Guy's very talented.
Oh, you're too talented. We've got a heap of mail, gents, so should we
cool.
dive in and sort of work our way through it?
Let's work through it.
We've got a heap of mail in. This comes from Greg F. from, and he writes, Greg here from Texas. Sorry to be that guy, but want to provide you with a well, actually moment. and that is that all chaps are arseless. Love the show. Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Good point. Thanks very much, Greg.
Well, I didn't know that because I've never had to wear them.
Craig Wilmot writes in, "Hi guys, I've been drawn into models a little by my 8-year-old son who is going through a war phase and he loves tanks and planes. So I got sucked into getting curious about how to weather tanks and all the good stuff. I found OTB to be probably my number one podcast for learning about these things while I'm mowing the lawns, etc. So well done and keep up the good work. Maybe it's in the same time zone, more or less, that helps."
That does. Yeah, it does.
One suggestion I'd have for you, and you've probably heard this before, but anyway, for listeners like myself, I really tune in for the main educational topic. The intro section on industry and hobby news is fine, but I'm not really in the scene, and so often listening to the main topic in older podcasts, so I'm not too interested in conventional news and news releases from 3 years ago.
Fair enough.
That's a good point, and now that the Falcon is now
Flying the coop.
yeah, he's been gone for quite a while now, so we don't do those anymore.
No. It's usually what news shit owns, but
Yeah. I presume we've got an audience that loves that stuff, but for those who are after the main topic, it's time-consuming and just difficult to find by skipping around the episode. Would be very useful if you put timestamps in for the main topics. Direct clickable links in the description would be great, and podcast chapters even better. But a simple hour, minute, seconds in a text in the description would save your listeners a lot of time. I think now with AI, it automatically timestamps the different areas for us. But I'll have to go back and check, Greg, and see.
Craig,
sorry.
Jeez, Dave.
Did I say Greg? Oh, sorry.
Jeez.
Craig goes on to say, "I'm currently working on learning panel lines for a little 1/72 scale Stuka, and after that got the bigger Tamiya IL2 to get back to."
Oh, it's a beautiful kit.
That's a great
It
kit,
is.
the IL2.
It
The
is.
IL2, yeah.
My son has also finished painting a Stuka. Wow, that's not bad for a, what is he? How old is he? 8 or 9? 8.
Cool.
Gee, that's fantastic. I think his is the Italian, mine's the Academy Stuka, and now he's got an Airfix Bolton Paul to find
Oh, very cool.
for more practice before he cracks into an Airfix B17 he got for his birthday. Greetings from Auckland. All the best with the show. That's cheers from Greg. And Greg, the B17... Craig.
It's written right there, Dave, in front of you.
No. The B17 is one of the first models that my dad actually built for me, so...
Oh, the old Airfix
yeah,
B17.
I've got very fond memories of that, so...
I don't think I built the Hasegawa one when I was younger, in 72nd. A lot of the monograms, I think I built about 4 or 5 of the monogram B17s.
Yeah, I used to buy all those from Kmart.
Yeah.
Thanks, Craig. I'll definitely dive into that. I'll check. I'm pretty sure that it automatically does timestamps now.
Yeah.
But, and because you're sort of so far behind in all the shows, I'll have a look. Anity? Is that how you pronounce that?
Auntie.
Polkella?
Bocala, yep.
Polkella. Hello. In episode 234, you talked about shrug music.
Jazz music.
Jazz music wasn't liked by the mustached little corporal.
Correct.
And his party members, so that's why it was called shrug music, or otherwise known as awful music. Now, why upward firing guns were called that, I have no idea, but it's quite successful at first when others had no idea about it. Anyway, keep the great podcast coming. That's from Antti in Finland. Best regards.
Yeah.
Nice
Yes,
to
that is
know.
true. Yeah, he hated jazz.
Did he really?
Yeah, he absolutely hated it. It was too bourgeois.
Really?
Yeah.
He was into...
He'd be more polka and stuff.
No, he wasn't polka.
That German Oompa music.
No, he's more into that. What's that one? The Seven Rings.
The Nebel something.
Yeah. Who was the
yeah.
I
composer
don't know what
for
you're
that?
talking about.
Sorry,
Who was the composer for that?
Wagner.
Wagner. That's right.
Wagner.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, with
Makes
Flight of
sense.
the Valkyries and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
John Byron writes in, "Hello, Dave. I'm pleased to be able to offer you the chance to turn the tables on Julian and correct him on his pronunciation. I can't wait to get into this email. I'm so excited.
Oh, there you go.
In the latest episode, or your last episode, the Lotus 7 was discussed, and Julian commented on its similarity to the Caterham 7, which is pronounced Caterham, not Caterham.
Caterham.
Yes.
Right.
Don't.
Even I got that wrong.
You can lord that one over him. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I got it right, my pronunciation. You didn't.
I don't care.
But you're the car dude. For what it's worth, Caterham.
Caterham.
Caterham, got it wrong then. Caterham Cars bought the license to manufacture the Lotus 7 in 1973 after it was discontinued, and you can still buy
So
one
that's
today.
what the deal is. Okay.
Yep.
Prices start at £30,000 to £80,000, and it goes 0 to 60 times, and 0 to 60 times go below 3 seconds. Well, that's fast. They're not common, but neither are they rare, especially when the weather's good. But most relevant to a modelling podcast, you can also buy them in kit form to assemble yourself.
That's right. I can remember watching that on Top Gear one day.
It's a great one-to-one project, isn't it, I guess?
They're so simple.
Yeah.
They're a skateboard.
Yep.
Thanks, as always, for a great listen. That's cheers from John Byron, who happens to be in the roads policing unit at Caterham Police Station in Surrey,
Oh,
England.
there you go. See,
You know,
if anyone knows, he knows.
Yeah. But see, like, we've got a lot of English names that get used here, and
Oh, yeah, and we butcher them.
I imagine most of them would be butchered.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's one thing we Aussies are good at is butchering names.
Yeah, no doubt. Charles Rice writes in, "Good day, OTB crew. Spectacular shows, like always, gentlemen, so thanks very much. Your content lately has been on point and extremely enjoyable, except for Brad. Honestly, Riv needs to keep a collar on that guy. We have to remind him constantly in Discord to zip it. Okay, I'll admit he does pretty good work.
He does.
Man, that admission really hurt me. Dave, I'm wondering about the movies that you've been listing on these special episodes lately. How do you find time to watch them at the nursing home in between that times and chess games in the activities room? Oh, you cheeky bugger. Anyway, love the content, boys. And Ian, I mourn for your loss of bench time.
Thanks,
Dave, Dave, remember not to touch anything below the belt after using Bengay Julian. I've got nothing. Love you guys. That's Charles Rice from SC, which is South Carolina, I do believe, if I'm correct.
Very cool.
It's always nice to hear from
It
you.
is, yes.
Matt Ryan, Hot the Soul writes in, firstly apologise for getting behind in the episodes. Other things have gotten in the way.
As life does.
It does. These days I'm using SMS and it works just fine with a Pash single action airbrush. Now, I used to have a Siphon Pash single action airbrush.
Yeah.
It was my first one.
Yeah. It's like holding a brick, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. But
It's so
if anything,
big and bulky.
It is, but it taught me that I need to get a better airbrush. And look, I've been hearing some discussions lately around the place about when people buy their first airbrush, they shouldn't buy an expensive one. They should buy a medium of the road one. Well, I think that I would disagree with that. I think if you're going to buy one, get a decent one as your first one. Don't just go by price. Go by recommendation.
What I find these days is
Well,
that
I reckon get the medium one because guaranteed you're going to do something stupid and break something.
Yeah, but with the top end ones, you can get parts relatively easy. And I'm thinking,
Yeah, but then you can be paying through the nose.
no, not
no,
necessarily.
not anymore. I mean, remember, like in the 90s, it used to be like, Japanese airbrushes were, like a special thing, Like you had to sort of
Then again, I
really...
had to wait nearly 6 months to get a needle for me, that really good airbrush.
Yeah. Well,
Because I dropped the needle and bent it.
Well, I buggered up my needle as well on my one, but I didn't have to wait that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is like the cost of Japanese airbrushes is almost the same here as it is in Japan nowadays. It's not that much different.
Oh, yeah.
And some of their cheaper models, which are still very, very good airbrushes, much better than any premium Chinese airbrush that you can get. you're just better off buying one of those.
Yep.
And I can't
Every
see,
time.
and it's false economy. I think buying a cheap airbrush. Look, you easily spend $150 on a model these days. That's before you buy the paint and all the other stuff to go with it. So, and a good airbrush, it costs you about $150.
Like if you want to get
So-
like a single action, I mean, like if we're talking,
Yeah.
he's talking about
Yeah,
a
yeah.
single action airbrush.
Basic
Single
airbrush,
action airbrush, from Iwata costs $50.
yeah,
Oh, is that all?
yeah.
In Japan, yes, and
so
you
it's
can
cheap.
probably get it for a little bit more, like maybe 65 here.
A double action, you're paying your sub 200 for one, depending on
Easy.
which model. But,
Yeah.
But easily do that. So if you're starting the first, if you haven't airbrush before, don't just buy a cheap $40 one. 'Cause I reckon it's $40 misspent. I think.
You can spend that on paint.
Yeah.
A cheap Iwata or Mr. Hobby type airbrush will beat an expensive Yumcha brand airbrush
yeah, of course it will.
every
Yeah,
single time.
Yeah. Ryan goes on, I've recently discovered AK paint markers. I've been experimenting in spraying the base colour and using the markers for the second and third camo colours. Lightest brown on the underside and clear were sprayed, then AK markers were used for the rest.
Huh, interesting.
Now, he did send a picture, but it's Flickr and it's not working, so I can't
really
actually have
see.
a look. But Ryan, thanks. AK markers, I haven't really sort of pushed into that area. Have you
No,
guys
me
got
neither.
No, but
I've heard
I know in
people
other.
talking about them.
I don't know anything about them, but if I had to guess, I'm guessing there might be like acrylic markers.
Yeah,
Because they're a thing nowadays, acrylic markers, where you know how like when you were a kid in school and you would colour things in on a colouring book and you would get, where it overlapped, it would get too dark.
Yeah.
And you could never get a consistent colour all the way across. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
Acrylic markers, it's just like, it looks like cell shading. It looks like cartoons. Like it's perfectly consistent all the way across. Doesn't soak into the paper or anything. And if it's anything like that, you'd be able to use them on models just fine, and it'd be like perfect.
I'm going to get a couple just to test out. So
Just get the box set, Dave.
Well, I might.
What happens if I don't like them? Then I'm stuck with
Then
the
you
box.
give them to me.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
I think you might actually, assuming they've got like a fine enough tip on them, they might be preferable for figure painting.
For blocking colours in,
could
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Possibly. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you writing in.
Yes, definitely.
Next one comes from that reprobate, Andrew Huss.
Andrew Haas, yep.
Good morning, Julian, Ian, and the arseless chap wearing garden gnome. Gee, thanks, Andrew. How are you, gents? Well, it's fine before the email. Well, the 48 weekend was a blast and an excellent job done by all hosts. Even that funny little fella with the weird hats and a leather fetish.
I wonder what he's talking about.
I wonder who's talking about. Really looking forward to next year's event and the future of John Marley's Australian efforts.
Yeah,
Yes,
hats
so
off
am
to John,
I.
mate. John's doing such an excellent job.
And we're 100% behind what John's doing and hope to really help push him forward. I encourage all benchers to get involved if they can. It's fun, it's social, it's on a weekend, and there's absolutely no pressure to get your build done by the end of the event. The following weekend, I was lucky enough to get up to Warbirds over Scone Air Show in the
that
Hunter
was
Valley,
pretty
New
good,
South
yeah.
Wales. It was bloody awesome, to put it mildly. 2 days chock full of Warbirds flying and static display. There were rail engine beasts, Mustangs, Kitty Hawks, Spitfires, Trojans, Wirraways, and plenty of other stunning aircraft, including a rare Merlin-engined P-40F.
Yeah, I've seen that before. That's a nice aircraft.
The flying program is superb and a real testament to the awesome warbird scene in Australia. Very inspiring, to say the least. Now that the excitement is over, it's back to the bench and a Hasegawa 148th AH-64A Apache that needs a lot of attention to get ready for the upcoming New South Wales Scale Model Show. There are only 6 weeks left to get your models done for the show, which is being held on the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of May at the Illawarra Sports Stadium, Fred Finch Park, Hooker Creek Road, Berkeley, New South Wales. All benches are invited with further details below. In closing, Ian, please come back as a host of 48 and 48. My eyes are still bleeding from the Goldfinch Mad Max picture, which I firmly blame Mr. Ockerby for. Cheers, lads. Andrew. There you go. Next year, 48 and 48, you've got to come back on.
Yeah, all right. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, you can do it from home.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
Yeah, it'd be easy for you to
Just
do.
this year was just not going to happen this year, unfortunately.
All right, well, thank you very much for writing in. Of course, if you
Yes.
want to send us a letter, you can. It's just send an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. We love seeing what you guys got to say and writing in. It's always a lot of fun to read out what you got to say.
Totally agree.
Let's move forward to the Patreon Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, all of the OTB coins, and there were only 1,000 produced, are now gone.
Oh, we got rid of them all.
So all that's left now is OTB T-shirts.
Yep.
So let's have a spin and
I'll
see.
have to think of some other merch, Dave.
We will. Let's have a spin and see who's winning a T-shirt this week. Classic black with OTB on the breast. And the winner is Henning Reish.
Yes.
Henning Reish.
Race. Well done, Henning.
I will definitely send you an email and get it out to you. Get contact details out to you and organise to get that in the mail for
Yep.
you.
Now, going off Henning's name, you could be sending that to Germany.
Oh, that's being a bit presumptuous. Europe, maybe?
Europe, yeah.
Might even be South Australia.
Hey, I was just thinking for maybe the listeners might want to reply to this one
Yeah.
for merch.
Yeah.
I was thinking aprons.
You know what?
OTB aprons.
Now, I've got to say, I have to say, I spent most of 48 and 48 on my hands and knees looking for parts that went twing off into the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. You get the apron, you get a couple of clothes pecks.
Yeah.
And when you sit on the bench, you flip your apron up
Yeah.
and you clip it to the edge of your bench. So if anything goes flicking towards you, it lands in your apron.
Yes. I think I need to do that. I do. I was so annoyed at how many times I had looking around on my hands and knees with a torch.
Just don't clip it to like a lightweight table. Otherwise, when you get up to walk
Get up,
away,
walk away, take the table with you. Yes.
Oh, I might look into that. Yeah, aprons with OTB.
Yeah. See what the people.
Not a bad
Or
idea.
let listeners maybe come up with some ideas for merch.
Yeah,
What
that's
they,
a
what
good
they would like to see.
Or like what they'd like to win on the OTB Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
Terrific. All right, gents. Thanks very much. We've got a great little chat coming up soon. So
Yeah, we do. Yeah, with
let's
a
see.
couple of old mates.
let's see who's on the line,
Yeah.
and we'll have a good chat. And from time to time, we struggle to find some guests to come on the show, and this episode was no different. So we really had to scrape the bottom of the barrel, and just kicking around down at the bottom of that barrel is a couple of whiskey sipping hayseeds from Kentucky. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the show Kentucky Dave Knights. And, of course, Mike Basket from Plastic Model Mojo. Good morning, good evening. Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Good evening, or good morning to you all.
Yes.
Good morning to you guys, and it's great to be talking to you again.
Yes.
You know what, Mike?
It's been a minute.
We've been kicking this idea around for about 2 years. I mean, we mentioned we were on the road trip to, where was the last one? It was Madison. And we said, hey, wouldn't it be good fun if we all got together and had a good yak? And we both said yeah, and it's taken 2 years to get here.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to more brainstorming sessions in about 3-4 months.
Yep. I still haven't booked my internal tickets yet, but that's not far off.
Well, I'm working on getting the room ready, the tripwires, the hidden cameras, the whole 9 yards.
I would have thought you would have just left them in from last time, but anyway.
Yeah.
He's upgrading.
Well, the room was such a mess when you left, we had to have it cleaned and fumigated.
I thought you would have just set fire to it.
Yeah, the trouble is you burnt the house down then. So
Yeah,
that's not good.
my wife suggested just burning the whole house down and starting from
again.
scratch.
Well, we've got a good time planned when I get over there because we're going to head down to Huntsville, Alabama, aren't we?
We are, and apparently that idea was so brilliant that all of IPMS decided the following year the National is going to be in Huntsville.
yes, I saw that. Oh, well, that's okay. We can go down and scope it out and pre-plan and everything.
I've been there any number of times. We'll have a great time. You're going to love it. If you've never seen the Space and Rocket Museum, you're going to have a good time.
Well, all the other US museums I've been to when I've been over there have been nothing short of just gobsmackingly brilliant. I mean, the Dayton, Ohio, when we went to the SAC Museum there, that was brilliant. Went to, last time I was over there, we went to the US Air Force Museum.
Yep, that's the one.
At Wright
Dayton.
Patterson, is it?
Yep.
Yep. Where was the SAC Museum?
The SAC Museum was Omaha.
Omaha, that's right. Yeah. And that was just, I couldn't believe it. And, of course, we've been to the Udvar Hazy.
Yep.
We've been there. And where's the other one we went to? Oh, you and I, Dave, we went to that LST Museum.
Right, the LST in Evansville.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In Evansville.
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, I'm about to take my second trip to D.C. in a year and not get to the Udvar Hazy Museum.
What? Can't you carve out half a day or something?
Confess why, Mike.
Oh, well, I've got a son up there. He's about to graduate from university, and he's in an internship with one of the senators.
Oh.
So he's up there, Mr. Big Shot. So we moved him up there in January, and we got to move him back 1st of May.
Look, gee, it just seemed like yesterday that he was starting university. Damn, that's gone quick.
Just tell me about it. I'm ready to get him off you got to get him off the payroll, man.
Hey, Mike, a respectable father wouldn't let their kid go into politics, man. You get him a respectable job like lawyer or engineer.
Well, we'll see.
So, adding, keeping with the flavour of your show, what's your modelling fluid, gents, this morning?
Well, this evening.
I got an Aurora Borealis. It's a little play on a word there, or a name. Yep. It's a hazy IPA from Elora, Ontario. So we picked this up at Heritage Con 2 weeks ago, a week ago. How long's it been, Dave?
Well, I have we were just up at Heritage Con.
Yeah.
And one of the people, one of our listeners there, a guy named Steve Johnson, gave Mike and I some beers. And so tonight, I am drinking Fruit Engine Double White IPA, 8% alcohol by who's the brewer? Wellington Brewery in Canada.
Yeah. Wow. Did you guys like your IPAs, don't you?
Mike got me hooked drinking Gumball Head, which is not an IPA, but it's IPA adjacent.
It's a pale
and
ale,
ever since that happened, I've kind of gone down the road of IPAs.
And this is a pale ale that I'm drinking. It's from the same source, so we appreciate that.
Nice.
Give me a good bitter or a good lager any day. I'm not a big fan of IPA. It's a bit too...
I don't see how you drink a bitter.
Bitter. Nothing's better on a hot day.
I can't go as far as a pale ale. To me, it tastes like a drink of potpourri.
Yeah, I know.
Right? It's just too much like
some of them do
flowery
right.
stuff in it. You know.
Yeah.
I can do golden ale. That's as far as I can go, but I prefer pilsner.
There are some that it must be a hops variety that I have an allergy to. So it'll give me a stuffed up head if I drink an IPA that happens to have that one in it. I don't know what it is, but that's what it has to be almost.
Mm. Huh.
But It's good.
I've heard
Dave
of
was
similar
saying
things.
the same thing. What Dave just said about bitters, he said the same thing about IPAs. 6 years ago. So,
That he's not wrong. I did.
Well, gents,
What's your old modeling fluid? You're at breakfast, so
Well,
do
so-
we have Bloody Marys or screwdrivers? Mimosa? Yeah, that's right. These guys would be mimosa guys, wouldn't they?
No.
well, actually, I am a mimosa guy. I don't mind a mimosa in the morning, but God forbid if I tuck into Michelle's champagne, you know, I'll get a good backhand across the back of the head.
I'll just stick to me alcoholic ginger beer, thanks.
There you go.
No, we're pretty tame this
know,
morning.
I'm never really been much for a morning booze,
No, me neither.
but there has been.
That's probably good. That's a good plan.
When I have been on holiday somewhere, like somewhere tropical, right? My go-to is rum and iced tea.
For morning
Okay.
breakfast.
I mean, after breakfast. I mean, like, just after breakfast.
Julian, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, man.
That's right. You've got to start sometime.
Well,
So how are things down under?
well, things are pretty good. We've just had a real cold snap roll through, so we're definitely out of summer now and
Yep.
deep into autumn. And obviously winter's not far behind that, so surprising I'm getting quite a lot of modelling done now. Ever since I got that monkey off my back, that damn Mooseroot Cup, my mojo has just bounced right back, and I'm building like crazy at the
man.
moment.
I feel your pain.
Mike had the same experience.
It just sucked all of my mojo out of me, that build. It really did.
You know, I end up having fun with it, but it couldn't end soon enough, though.
I didn't even have fun. It was just like a chore. And
That's too bad.
I know.
It really should have gone to me, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you're the car guy.
Yeah, really. But and then we're there at Heritage Con and they don't even announce it.
Yeah.
They had some sort of technical difficulty.
Yeah, called forgetting.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's good to see Brian win. I mean, he put a lot of work into that, although technically it wasn't.
He did.
Technically, it wasn't the right one. We're supposed to be doing a. What was it called, Julian? A what? We're supposed to be doing a what car? Fast and Furious car.
Oh,
right?
Fast and Furious car.
Oh,
yeah, but I mean, like, that wasn't, like, both your car and his car weren't Fast and Furious style cars anyway.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, like, a Fast and Furious style car is like 90s to 2000s era type car.
A
And
1994 Toyota Supra twin turbo.
yeah, stuff like that, you know? I mean, the very first.
What was yours? Go ahead, Joey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like the first movie was stuff like Toyota. It was a Mitsubishi Eclipse, Toyota Supras, Evos.
right.
There was even a BMW and a Volkswagen or something in there, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yours and Brian's car, those are not kits for that. Those are a whole different thing.
Mine was a Miata. Do they call it Miata in your part of the world? Little
No,
Mazda?
they don't. They only call it that in North America. I drive one of those. You basically built my car.
Those are really popular autocross platforms in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
And
apparently you can drop
hairdressers
some,
love them.
you can drop some big engines into those things.
Yeah.
not.
Flying Miata, they do the whole V8 conversion thing.
You put a V8 into one of
Yeah.
those things?
Yeah.
Jeez, it'll
Yep.
Be
fly.
a small block.
No,
Yep.
from the Corvette, straight from a Corvette.
What, an L
With-
L series engine?
Yeah, with the valve covers and everything that said Corvette on it. Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
So mine wasn't Fast and Furious too much. I didn't do too much to it in that regard, but
No,
I tried
It was a
some
smooth.
things.
It was a smooth move.
I'm still contemplating whether to lodge a protest over Brian's model because it didn't fit the brief. So I'll think about
Yeah,
that.
but neither did yours.
Well, that's okay.
Good
I
luck
didn't
with
win,
that.
so I didn't win. So
you're going to find out there aren't any rules.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, technically, it's myself and Stuart who owned the rights to the whole thing, so we can make the rules up as we go along, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay,
unfortunately,
we'll talk on the way to Fort Wayne.
Yes.
Oh, I can see a backhand in my future. Lovely.
Well, actually, Dave, it was me and who was his offsider at the time?
Oh,
Andrew was the guy who's got the sanding blocks.
Yeah, was it Andrew?
Anthony.
Anthony, that's
Anthony
right.
Goodman.
Yeah, because
Anthony
originally it was
Goodman.
between Anthony and myself.
Yes.
That's how it started.
It did.
We saw him at Heritage Con.
Oh, really? How's he
Yeah.
going? Is he going good?
He's doing good. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
terrific.
Unfortunately, Stuart wasn't there, but
Yeah,
Anthony.
Yeah, apparently Stuart's having some dramas, isn't he?
Yeah, his wife's not well.
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
Yeah.
it's a shame. So we wish
True.
Stuart all
Yep,
the best, and
we do.
we hope to see him back behind a microphone soon.
Yes.
That'd be really good.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Miss
we'd
those
also
guys.
like to see the OTB crew back in the United States. What?
That could be a few years, mate.
Well, what's Goldfinch? Get your crew in line and get them over.
Well, here's the thing. Julian's sort of got a gig in Asia that he keeps going to, so I'll let him.
I'm sure that's a good one too.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was gonna go over to Asia around this time, May. I think I was originally planning to go over there, but then this whole fuel crisis thing, I was like, I was started to see like all the prices starting to go up. I'm like, I can wait it out a little bit.
Wow.
And if it stays there, then it stays there, and I haven't really lost anything.
Yes.
And of course, Ian, you've got your domestic situation.
Yeah, that's it.
With
Yeah.
your mum. So.
Yeah, it doesn't leave me with any time at all.
No, no.
Yeah.
So that just leaves me as the one member of the travelling Wilburys left.
Yep.
The solo.
Well, you've got
manager.
to represent. You've got to represent OTB.
Well, I will. So I'm off to Malaysia in a couple of months, and when I get back, I'm straight over to see you guys. So I'm doing the hard yards.
Yeah, when are you guys
Well,
gonna
I was
fly
just-
over water?
Yeah, that's a good point, Julian. That's a very good point.
What?
Yeah. When are you guys flying down?
Hey, you get rid of the snakes and spiders, and I'll be there tomorrow.
I mean, you don't have to. They don't have to come here. They could also go to anywhere else around the world.
There's not that many snakes and spiders where we are.
You want to come out here for the Canberra show,
Yeah.
and there's no snakes or spiders in Canberra.
No.
There's no snakes
just
or
the ones
spiders.
just the ones at Parliament House.
yes. But got a spare room here. We do a road trip up to Canberra. We'll go a couple of days early so we can go to the War Memorial.
Oh, you'd
and
love the AWM.
we'd have a real good time.
Well, as long as you don't take me on a drop bear hunt.
No,
That's all
no,
right.
no. I do that for people that I like.
Gotcha.
I will just take you to the Blue Ring Octopus Petting Zoo.
No, thank you.
I'm pretty sure you can get some good flight deals. So
Oh, yeah.
Well, technically, I fly ID-90.
what's that?
My wife was a flight attendant for Southwest Airlines for 25 years.
That's right.
And you can fly flight crew and their families can fly ID-90, basically space available for 10% of the price of the ticket.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That's really nice.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll get to use it sometime in the near future. But
We haven't
kids,
flown to a show since Las Vegas.
Right. Las Vegas was the last, and heck, given that we drove 16 hours to San Marcos in
Vegas is a
one
little
day.
further than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did similar, didn't we?
Yeah, we drove 2 days to get to Queensland for that
Yeah.
show. That was a good drive.
That was a fucking awesome drive.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not driving it that far.
Well, that's what Ian and I said when we got back from the trip.
So next time we fly.
Next time we're flying, man.
It was a fun trip. You do it maybe once.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a slog.
Yeah,
It is.
That was a big drive, that one.
Well, in
Yeah, I
fact,
think
if you came over and we did do the Canberra show, we'd go the coastal road and hit Illawarra and go into Canberra that way, because that way we can take in the Haas Museum, Heritage Air Museum, and also the Fleet Air Arm Museum as well.
Yeah.
That'd be a good trip.
You might talk me into that.
Well,
You can work on me while you're floating in my pool.
There you go.
Have you still got those electronic
Motorized plugs? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
What were they?
Oh, it's got these like banana chair things inflatable, and you put them in the pool. They've got little motors on them, and you can steer yourself around the pool, and so you can have battleships against each other.
Oh, no.
We have fun in the pool, don't we, Dave?
Oh.
Yes, we do.
Well, if I make it, my youngest son, he's not that young, but he would have to come with me, and he's going to have to see some snakes and spiders.
All right, we can organise that.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you that if you don't want to see snakes, do not take him on a hike, because you're going to see one. Come hell or high water, you're going to see one.
He's a snake magnet.
Yeah, well,
when you kick over every rock and log looking for
him, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to find one.
Yeah, you got to be careful here, though, because a lot of our snakes are very venomous.
He's well aware of that.
But saying that, you've really got to work hard to find a snake out in the bush. You really have to.
Well,
Well, it depends what time of the day or night it is.
And if you manage to spot one, it's close enough to you to be a threat.
Yeah.
And they're aggressive. They're not slither away snakes.
Yeah.
They're slither after you snakes.
Yeah.
Well, some are, yeah.
Then you got the hoop snake.
Yeah.
You got to watch those hoop snakes. They're the worst.
See, New Zealand is sounding better and better.
Yeah, no snakes.
No snakes.
Well, you can stop at New Zealand on your way over. It can be a pit stop for you. I'm sure the South Seas Poms would love to see you.
I'm sure Peter Jackson would let me stay at his house.
Oh, sure. I'll give him a call. He's a good mate of mine.
Yes.
I knew you'd know him.
Yeah, he's the only guy he knows that's blocked.
Anyway, I thought that apart from threatening to do this for 2 years now and finally getting around to it, I thought we'd, as a fun sort of topic, you guys have been sort of circling around the sink about this topic for a couple of your shows now, and you've been talking about when you're on the road trips, you do like fantasy modelling, where you say if you've got X amount of money, what you do, and I thought it'd be a good topic and a fun topic to have a chat about. So, how about
I got that one? A listener sent that in pretty recently.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 episodes back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Bates has the best answer to this question, bar none.
Yep. And
He says if he wins, the super lottery or whatever, comes into just unbelievable money, he'd start a model company, and his first kit would be an Avro Anson, his second kit would be a Fleet Fort, and then his third kit would be bankruptcy.
Well, the Avro Anson's already been done, so you might as well move on to...
depending what scale.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, he wants it in 72nd, God's one true state.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, here's the
Got two to
rules.
choose from.
Here's the rules of the game.
Okay.
You've won $100 million in the lottery.
US or Australian?
Doesn't matter.
At that amount of money, it doesn't really
You've won $100
Wherever you
million.
are.
Wherever you are, you've won $100 million. And we'll go around the table and see what you do with that. So let's kick off first with Mike, seeing you've got the logical brain amongst all of us. You've won $100 million. What are you going to do?
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. I can't remember what I said on our episode. It was probably I remember what it was. I don't know if you've seen in the modeling social media, but Stan Spooner down in Texas has opened a hobby shop.
Yep.
I don't know if you've
seen that,
met him
yeah.
or not.
We had him on the show about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the model box, and it's a really interesting concept. And I know I've seen an interview with him where they're thinking if this thing took off, they would like to possibly franchise the idea. That's an interesting thing, I believe. It wouldn't take $100 million. If it did, it would be the best. If you'd use that much money for it, it'd be the best one ever, I'm sure.
Whatever.
One thing, I was thinking about this today because I knew this was going to be the topic. I'm sure they have something similar in Australia, and Dave, you'll be familiar with it. But in like new developments, commercial developments in the urban areas here, there's like they're almost like row houses.
Yep.
But each unit is like a fourplex, 2 downstairs, 2 upstairs office spaces.
Yep.
Right. So there's all these kind of non-retail, primarily businesses in them. There'll be like I don't know, financial advisors and dietitians and stuff like that, right? But these things, I was looking into them a few years ago, and they're not horribly expensive, honestly. Even without $100 million, I was like, hey, that's probably doable on some scale. And what I was doing at the time when I was looking at these things, I was thinking about how many years I got left working for somebody else. And I think because my father retired, gosh, I guess it's been maybe 10 years ago now, but seeing him, he was fairly busy the first part of that, but now he's getting to the point where I don't know, he doesn't leave the house much, doesn't have a lot to do. So I was thinking I would get one of these places and move most of my workshop over there as a studio, have everything set up for photography in its own location, not have to move stuff out to put something else up, have my own space for everything. And then I'm not sure if you know or not, but I also with a friend of mine here in Kentucky, we've got this side hustle where we wheel and deal in World War II militaria. And we would use it for that too. So I'd have this space where it'd be all my hobby stuff, but it'd be away from the house. So I'd have somewhere to go to every day.
Ah, right.
So I don't know. That's kind of what I would do. I think I would have this, and I think I maybe would dabble in hobby retail as well.
Yeah. Because
there's a shop here in town, but it's a Hobby Town, which is a large franchise here in the United States. And they're just, some of them are really good and some of them are terrible, but they tend to be a whole lot of everything. And they don't have any kind of depth of any of their product lines really. So it's a one size fits all kind of franchise. So they got RC, they got Model Railroad, they've got plastic kits, they got rockets, they've got doll houses, they've got everything, but not very much of it.
Right.
And I just think with that kind of money, you could run a business at a loss.
Of course
right?
you could, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could be like, I don't care. I'm having fun. So I think with that kind of money, that would be the thing where the money would really be the thing is I could own the place outright and I could operate at a loss and just not care about it.
Well, heck, you could just live off the interest, wouldn't you? That could run you.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
so, I think a dream like this wouldn't need that much money, but with that much money, we could, we come to see you a lot. We go up north to the Armor Museum.
Yeah.
You live in a big country too, man. There's nothing's close.
No, tell me about it.
Yes, very true.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It takes me. I mean, to get to Malaysia from here, you'd think that we're really close, but Singapore. That's an 9 hour flight from here, just to get to Singapore.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
It's an 8-hour flight from here to Manila. I know that much.
Well,
Manila's a lot further than the Malaysia.
Well, it's pushing 8 hours to get to Singapore from here.
If you say so.
Well, I do, because I'm flying there next month.
So I don't know if I get into making model kits or not, but
Yeah, with that amount of money, they could.
I mean, you can make model kits on your current salary, right? So that's fine.
I could. Might not be a very good idea.
Yeah, well, instead might make stuff that goes around the moon.
Yes,
that's true. That's very true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
I might kick over to before I touch on you, Kentucky Dave. I might jump over to Ian and see what he'd do with $100 million.
Oh, jeez.
I prompted you about this for a week ago.
I know, but it's one of those things. All right, I'd buy an M3 Stewart for starters, because there's a few of those popping around. You can buy them; they're still available here in Australia.
Oh, come on! Come on, get a Sherman. Get something
I
respectable.
like the M3. The little Stewarts, they're quick, zippy. 37 mil gun.
And when they get stuck, you don't have to hire somebody to come extricate it.
Exactly.
And you can buy a farm to run it around on.
Yeah. Yes, live out in
I
the
like that
country.
idea. But continue.
Yeah. I'd have probably the ultimate hobby room, that's for starters.
Yeah.
Everything custom built. Custom built spray booth built into the walls and
Get a cabinet maker to come in and fit it out for you.
yeah, have a massive library / display room with a wingback chair, bar
There you go.
fridge,
Right.
kickback.
Box of cigars.
Yep. Bribe Edward.
Bribe them.
Yep.
For what?
I want him to build I'll release a 148 scale Jake.
Oh, jeez.
No one does
Oh,
it.
you just commission the kit.
Yeah, there you go. Commission it. Yeah,
Exactly
commission
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. You could be the producer.
Yeah. Yeah, but with that amount of money, you could. There's so many kits that you normally you couldn't get. You just commission them.
Yeah, get another company to do it so you haven't got the headache.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Mm.
Oh, anything else with your money? Well, that's it. You're just driving
Probably
around all day in
waste
your
it.
Stewart.
Just basically travel the world for starters. There's still lots of play. Like Mike said, I don't think you'd get all that much modelling done. With that amount of money, because it just changes your whole life. Yeah. Totally.
Is this amount of money? Is the boundaries on this topic limited to modelling type stuff
that's
or
what I
modelling
wanted-
adjacent?
Modelling, I'd specifically sort of shooting for the modelling side of things. So,
Right.
yeah.
And maybe you gave us too much money.
Well,
No,
we'll see.
there's
He hasn't
Okay,
asked me
how
yet.
about
Stop
I
trying
do
to
mine
take my
first?
money.
Yep. All right. Go, Julian.
okay. So there's a few different routes I could take with this, right? One is I could move to Japan and then just live off that and build models in Japan, right? Because that sounds like a pretty good deal. I'd be able to get my hands on all the Hasegawa kits right as they come out the factory door, rather than having to wait like 3 months for them to filter down to here.
So your modelling room would be in Japan. You just fly to your modelling room and stay there for a couple of months, build, and fly back home.
Something along those lines.
Ah.
Right, there's that idea. Then there's also the nasty side of me, which makes me want to do things like buy out Airfix and then like run it into the ground or something, right?
I think that's already getting done.
But then when I start thinking of doing that, then I think, well, actually, you know what? I'd much rather do that to AMT. I'd much rather buy AMT, crush all those molds, and then have them start making new toolkits of those same cars.
You're vindictive when you're rich.
Because they need to be taken out of circulation is what they need, right? Those kits are terrible. They're not even made in the US anymore, They're made in China.
Right.
Right.
Well, see, this is interesting, Ian or Julian. With car modelers, a lot of times the reason they build car models is they want those cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I hand you $100 million, don't you just start going out and buying the
The real
real cars?
No.
Really?
No, I don't need that headache.
I wouldn't have thought.
All those cars are old and slow anyway.
Well, you can go buy a supercar.
Not to mention
no.
not to mention those cars especially in the United States where you would be buying them from, right? They have huge boom attacks, right? Huge boom attacks. Like those guys are all those guys who wear the shorts and the shirt, like the classic Corvette guy memes.
Yes.
And they're like, this car came out in such and such year and they only made such and so many in this particular color in this particular month of this particular year, and so it's rare.
Yep.
And they think it's worth a lot, but it's really, especially as time goes by, it's not worth anything because the younger generations don't give a crap about it.
Yeah, which is sad.
Well,
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, they got their own interests.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying to you, Ian, you better take care of my 1803 bloody steam engine or something like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And you're supposed to upkeep it and hang on to it, and it's a big, cost burden on you. And, heaven forbid you take it anywhere. But I mean, you see, like you might think that's a cool idea, but there's lots of people who don't. You know, like there's a whole thing now where they call it millennial inheritance, where people of my generation are inheriting stuff from their parents or grandparents, and it's all junk that they've collected over their lifetime. You know, like those blue and white plates, the bowls and stuff. You know, the fine china.
Yeah, the Dolphware.
Yeah, or other, like 1,000 like bloody weird porcelain face dolls and all that sort of.
Or if anything like my mother, a couple of thousand freaking spoons.
Yeah, the spoons.
Enjoy your inheritance, boys.
You added to that pile too when we went to the States. You bought
I bought a spoon.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
You're a good son, Ian.
Well, I do me best. Dave.
Well, yeah, but I mean, these are the sort of the things that I think about. Like, I don't necessarily need the real car. I would like to have, as far as real cars go, there's maybe 2 or 3 that I would like to keep. But I also understand that cars are a money pit, right? There's
could be worse. You could get into boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, there are cars like that too, you know? Like, I mean, I would like to own an RX-7, but owning a rotary is just too much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but is going to be an engine rebuild on an RX-7, is that going to cost you about $108,000?
Who cares? You got $100 million.
You got $100 million. You don't care.
I know.
I mean,
set it on fire and get a new one.
I don't.
That's it. Just sink it, turn it into
I don't think you realise just how much, because the molds that they used to cast the blocks for rotary engines are gone. They're broken. They're gone.
Yep.
There are no new blocks coming out of Mazda.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there are no new blocks. So if you blow up one of those things, you're in for a lot of money. You may as well just get out of rotary engines altogether.
You've got $100 million. Mike is right. Set it on fire and go buy another one.
Who wants to be that guy? I mean, like,
hang on. This comes from Julian. He says, "Who wants to be that guy?" He's quite happy to go and buy all the AMT molds and smash them.
Yes, because they need to be replaced with better, more modern molds. Those things are clapped out. They're long past their lifespan, right?
Some of them are really old.
Oh yeah, we're talking early 60s.
Yeah, exactly. Early 60s.
Even by model kit standards, they're really old.
I mean, think about it this way. Eduard brought out kits in the 90s, and then they got rid of those because they realized that they were not good enough and replaced them with newer ones. Right?
Yep.
They brought out brand new kits of all their, 109s, 190s.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? That's what AMT should do, but obviously they're like, no, these Muppets keep on buying them, so we'll just keep on making them.
Well, is that the manufacturer's problem, or is it the audience problem?
Well, I mean, there's never going to be a newer kit if no one makes it, right?
True. Well,
you bring out a newer kit, who's going to want the older kit? Especially when it's made out of flash, right?
We know that Julian's going to be a very, 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 very Dr. Evil if he ever wins a lottery.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the third option is I
he's going to get a hairless cat.
Is no, I wouldn't get a hairless cat. I would definitely build my own little miniature version of like a Bond villain lair, with its own hobby room and display room downstairs, like 3 levels down or something, I remember you telling us about those, for your previous company, how you would install the air conditioners in like rich people's houses, and they would have like 3 like different tennis courts underground or something.
Oh, that one joint, yeah. Chinese billionaire.
Wow.
Had his own beauty salon, cinema, tennis courts, all underground, and 75 indoor units, air conditioning units. in one building.
75.
75.
The power bill just to run
$2.5 million job.
So, Kentucky Dave, you've won $100 million. What are you going to do?
Well, there's a meme going around that says, when I win the lottery, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs.
Yes.
And I love Mike is all logic. You can tell he's an engineer. He starts thinking business and all this. When I win the lottery, what happens is a Gulfstream 5 shows up down in Australia to pick up Dave Goldfinch. Then it flies to the U.S., where it picks up several other people along the way, stop in Minnesota, stop in Ottawa. Then it goes to England, where I've pre-drop shipped 4 or 5 of those 40-foot containers at Hannett's.
Oh.
And we show up at Hannett's and buy everything. We tour the museums while we're there.
While they're loading the container.
While they're loading the containers, it's going to take a couple of days. We tour England. We pop over. We do the Normandy beaches. We do the Battle of the Bulge. Mike finally gets to see where those Germans were executed. And then reverse it. And I'd still have $90 million.
I thought you were going to go a different route with that. I thought you were going to say, "Oh, well, he's the engineer, so he's done that, and because I'm the lawyer, I'm going to implement a whole bunch of laws that govern govern the hobby industry."
When he got $100 million, he's going to give half of it to me.
Like undergates only.
Hey, Mike, you'll be in the Gulf Stream. You'll be in the Gulf Stream, buddy. You'll have your own shipping container.
And when you're down here, you should just drop in at B&A.
Yeah. Well,
that's probably as big as Hannett's.
Well, why don't just buy B&A and just be done with it? You get $100 million, man.
Yeah, well, true. You just buy it.
You guys are all thinking such small.
Well, because we'd never lived with that amount of money. We don't know how to live with that amount of money.
Yeah.
We're all small time.
You're all small time thinkers. You are all small time thinkers.
Oh, what's your big brain take then?
Yeah, Dave.
All right, so
here we go.
I'm going to build.
Be interesting.
I'm going to get a big block of land, huge block of land, something
build
like
a time machine.
No, not a time machine. I'm going to get about 5 hectares, maybe 6 hectares, somewhere. And it'll be.
Oh, I know where
he's going to make. He's going to make the Republic of Dave.
No,
God. He's going to go.
He's going
to hunt humans.
No. Can I finish my fantasy?
Yes.
Thank you. Probably now I'm thinking about I'm going to get about 10 hectares, and I'm going to build this huge building, which is like basically a great big
like a hangar.
No, not a hangar. It's like a where you can have displays and shows and all that sort of stuff.
Like a convention centre.
A convention centre. I'm going to build a convention centre, but the convention centre is going to be up on stilts, right? So underground car parking and all that. So it's a big convention centre, which for model clubs is just a peppercorn donation for them to come and use. Every other
modeller's retreat.
Yeah. Every other organisation that wants to rent it out for like a car show or a fashion show or a Comic-Con, they charge full price. So that way that covers the cost of the running of that place. It's going to have a huge...
Where would you buy this land?
Oh, no,
that was my question, Julian. Where would you locate it in Australia?
Well, there's not a lot of 10 hectares worth of real estate in downtown Melbourne.
Oh, this area's out round the back where we are.
Just buy Jeff's shed.
So the next thing would be to have a great big area which would be laid out for the radio control guys who do radio control tanks, radio control racing cars.
And I can come through with my M3 Stewart and crush them all.
So they have all that. There'll be out the back. There'll be an airfield there for the radio-controlled aircraft dudes. There'd be a specialised pond for the radio-controlled boat dudes.
And what about the biggest nerds, the rocketers?
Well, hang on, it's coming. There's an area for them to fly as well, and then there's a big room that would be set up with different track layouts for the train guys to come along as well and play there. So this would be like a big area where you can just rock in and, you know, just do whatever you want to do.
What about you're going to have a spot for the D&D freaks?
That's pushing it a bit too far.
Well, wait a minute.
Part of the hobby.
Your son's going to need Warhammer space.
Well, okay. That's what I mean.
That's so true.
Warhammer.
Which you can put the D&D people
Yeah,
in.
good point. I'll do that. Yeah, all right.
Well, you may as well throw in some camping grounds so that people could.
No, it'd be like a hostel sort of attached to it, so you can just go and, you know, bunk in
And
there.
not get any sleep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't have security knocking on the door because there's too many people in the
So I
room.
figure by the time I figure by the time I build and settle that up, that's going to probably tap out pretty close to the whole amount of money.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, we're talking. This thing must be freaking huge.
Yeah,
man.
well, it'll be built by the CFMEU. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You got to pay for those strippers to make your coffee.
Sorry, that's the boys are referencing a union issue that we're having here in Victoria, but I won't go into detail.
I figured that.
So yeah, big mega palace, which would all clubs and
What would it be called?
Dave's
The
Wonderworld.
Goldfinchatorium.
Dave's Wonderworld.
Dave's Wonderworld.
Oh, my.
How's
There
that?
you go.
Sounds
I still think
so
the
right.
Republic of Dave sounds
Yeah,
better.
Republic of Dave.
And it would have a bar, so you can go and get a drink. It would have a
No.
hamburger shack.
No.
So you can go have hamburgers and
Does it have an menu on an item on the menu saying called a Dave Burger or something?
there'd be the Mighty Dave Burger on the menu.
Mighty
the Mighty
Dave
Dave
Burger,
Burger on the
okay.
menu. And just because it's my
So
place, there would be a dedicated in-room smoking lounge as well.
There you go.
There you go. So you can take your whiskey and sit there and have a cigar or a cigarette and look out through these panoramic glass windows.
Will
that
it be
everybody-
like Disneyland where it's got those off limits areas for like the elite of society to turn up and
No. They'll have secret passageways that only I can travel
Oh.
along. And
Ju-
like there'll be paintings on
If-
the wall, so you can take the eyes out, and so I can look through those, and you can see, like you see those comedy shows.
Hey, Dave.
And his little golf cart so you can go down the tunnels.
Dave.
Yeah.
What costume are you going to make Julian wear?
I wear a costume every day.
And you know what? Because I'm so rich, I won't have to build models anymore. I'll hire the likes of Clayton Ockerby and Stuart, and they can. I'll just sit there behind them on
You're gonna
a
build it-
stand and watch them build the model that I want them to build.
Okay, so you're gonna have a sweatshop.
Yeah, have a sweatshop. Yeah,
Sweatshop. A modeling sweatshop.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
yeah.
There you go.
And I'd have a throne and a little crown to sit on it while I watch them do it. Come on, you guys think too
You're
small.
supposed to wear the crown, not sit on it.
No, but
You do you, Dave.
But in all seriousness, I'd love to be able to build a great big convention centre like that and have it set up. like that.
I
That'd be good.
have thought of ideas like that
Yeah.
where you could have essentially like a whole bunch of club rooms in one building.
Yeah.
You know, just to help foster the hobby communities
Yep.
of Melbourne.
Yep, and have programs in schools which would bus kids out from all around the state to come.
I mean, like
have a modelling camp. all that sort of
Every
stuff.
person who's ever been in a model club wants their own club room that
Yeah,
they own, and that's a separate building that they can just
You can
fill it with all their crap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you set like a whole heap of rooms up that are basically like big workshops and meeting.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
just go right. You can hire it, put down your deposit, and do it with it as you please to a certain.
And big build areas as well. So you have
Yeah.
air already piped through. So you just got to plug in your airbrush and
Yeah.
you're in one of those back in chemistry class you had those sort of air sort of things where you can do the
Vent hood.
thank you
Yeah.
have vent hoods all set up. So you just plug in your airbrush and off you go.
Yep.
Be awesome.
You know, I remember someone telling me about how in Melbourne there's a fish club.
A fish club.
Yeah, fish. Like, you know, that they bring their fish, you know, that they keep
Yep.
in a tank otherwise, you know, to
Oh,
the
yeah.
club.
Yeah.
And it had literal fish tanks built into the walls of the meeting rooms.
Seriously?
Yeah.
In Melbourne?
Yeah, because they had like a club member who was like filthy rich, and
So is that like taking a dog for a walk?
I suppose. Yeah, they had like
Taking
a
a fish for a
wealthy
swim,
club
yeah.
member who died and left a whole bunch of money so they could have build this place up.
Well, actually, in Melbourne, there's a model train club that has their own rooms in inner city Melbourne, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
It's kind of the dream, isn't it?
it is a dream.
You know, I would get in the kit business.
Would ya?
Yeah. 'Cause
Well,
I've got an idea that nobody. I won't
Uh-oh.
say they
Well,
may
write
be
this-
thinking about it.
Write this down.
Hang on. How many beers have you had,
When
Mike?
Aaron Skinner left Fine Scale Modeler and went to be the new product kit guy for round 2,
Yes.
who owns AMT, by the way, and they came out with that 32nd scale TIE Fighter.
Yes.
That's a great kit. I've got that one. Whether I don't know who in your crowd's a Star Wars fan or not. Maybe none of you, but so you remember the old Airfix multi-pose figure sets?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great idea. Mike's told this to me before.
Somebody needs to do. I'm going to say 32nd scale since they've already got the TIE Fighter, and I think they're coming out with something else in that scale. Somebody needs to do multi-pose figure sets, armies of the Star Wars universe, in 35th or 32nd scale.
Stormtroopers, Resistance.
Rebel Fleet Troopers, Tusken
Right.
Raiders,
Well-
Jawas, whatever.
The
Just
thing is,
do it.
like that's because that's an IP, you have to pay licensing.
Yeah, we got
Well, but
100 mil.
AMT already has it.
Yeah,
It's true. Yeah.
So we'll see. I sent an email to Aaron Skinner telling him he needed to do it, but he never answered me.
That is an answer.
Oh, that's an answer in itself.
It
isn't
is. It is an answer. You're right.
Yeah.
He,
Oh, well.
he put
All right.
he put you on the email block list after that.
Of course, he'd only been there about a month, so who knows?
Right.
Only a month.
Yeah.
He's in his job. He's only been there for a month and he's already getting
Yeah.
junk mail.
All right, getting junk mail. Yeah. A bunch of crazy Star Wars loons. Yeah.
Who's this guy, Mike Basket, who keeps sending me these damn things about Star Wars?
You know what? That's a lot like that's like those guys on Facebook and forums and stuff. We need one of these, and it's the most esoteric, one thing that was ever built.
But hey, I'm thinking about your idea, Mike, and really could 3D print just bodies,
Yeah, you could do it that way
torsos,
too.
individual arms and legs, and you just print hundreds of different arms posed, and the guys can glue them in whatever.
I mean, there's a bunch of people doing that already, but they don't.
They don't have
They
the
don't have any-
license.
They don't have any licensing.
Right.
So there was what is it? It's a magazine, Dioramag or something like that, where the
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah,
the guy
yeah,
that
yeah.
built the Imperial guys after the Battle of Hoth. It was on the front cover of that magazine. A really great diorama. You could get on an Etsy store and buy every one of those things. and I'd reached out to him to maybe have him on the show, but then I got to thinking, there's no way this guy has a license for this stuff.
Yeah.
No.
And if I get him on,
Yes.
I'm not saying it would because I don't know who listens to any of our shows. That would matter to.
Yeah,
But it could go south for him.
you
It could.
can get away with things if you're small enough until
Yeah.
you get well known enough.
Disney, which now owns the Star Wars IP, is notorious about. I mean, there are stories in the legal community about the lengths they go to crack down on IP. In fact, there's one really famous story. Some daycare somewhere in Florida, one of the people who owned or ran the daycare was very talented, and on the wall painted, a whole bunch of Disney characters
Yeah.
just to make the daycare a little
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Disney came down like a ton of bricks
Wow.
on a daycare.
Wow.
Yeah, the stories are legend.
Well, I mean, at least the daycare's making money. I mean, companies like Nintendo will come down on artists who are making no money, right?
I know.
Well, them.
Yeah.
Then you got Games Workshop. They're notorious for coming down on people.
Yeah.
They will hunt you down.
Yep. Don't
Yes.
you dare do a bit of fan art for Games Workshop nowadays.
That's a weird thing because you look at a company which is odd that leans into that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's McDonald's, the hamburger company.
Yeah.
So of course over here in Australia we all call it Macca's,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of jumping up and down and everything, the company's really leant into it.
Yeah.
And so they've even
They've embraced
rebranded.
it.
They even rebranded some of the stores Macca's.
Well, I have, yes.
Yeah. So
Because don't ask an
Yeah,
Australian, don't ask an Aussie to say a full name. It just won't happen.
In the U.S., they're called Mickey D's.
Yeah, Mickey D's. I've heard
but
that
I bet
before,
the company hasn't lent into that though. And
No.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't see
Well,
like
they've had some advertising. Some
Yeah,
of
that's
their
true, they have,
advertisements refer to them as Mickey D's.
Okay.
Yeah, whereas here you go down and actually the sign itself says Macca's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been that way for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
But then I think McDonald's Australia tends to take a lot of risks.
But-
because we're a smaller market, we don't really matter as much. They can take risks here, and it doesn't necessarily cost them too much. You
But
know? They can be experimental.
The point I'm trying to lead into is that it can work in a company's or a manufacturer's favour if they support the community.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
But they've also got to be a bit wary of the opposite, where the perception of their properties gets twisted into ways that they don't want it to.
Yeah, you don't want.
Yeah.
You,
You know?
you don't want the porn industry or something like getting their fingers into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be an example. But I mean, there's lots of ways that you could twist it in a direction that, like, maybe they've got like a whole roadmap of characters and things they want to do in the future, and if the community grabs it and takes it in a different direction,
destroys the canon.
Yeah.
I mean,
story.
it means they have to spend money to rewrite everything, and it may not necessarily be as good. Blah 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 blah. I mean, they want control over their own stuff, right?
Games Workshop are horrendously overpriced to begin with. Anyway, I don't know how. I mean, the market they're aiming at, you'd think is getting the kids in, and you think you'd want to sort of cheapen it as much as you can, or set the price point so you get more and more kids in. But geez, they're pricing themselves way out.
No.
Well, I mean, they do actually make it, some of their stuff, very selected stuff, cheaper. They have starter sets that are quite reasonably priced. The problem is all the actual stuff you want to make
It's
is expensive.
Yeah.
Like by the time you get to stuff like the knights, the things that look like mechs,
Yep.
those things are actually not that big, and they cost a lot of money.
Yep.
Because they know that people like us want to buy them and then kit bash them into something else.
And then you have Forge World.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, speaking of expense, and going way off topic, and while we've got everybody around the table, let's dive into
There's
that.
a topic?
Yeah. I was talking to Paul from over in the UK, talking to Brownie, and he said, "Did you see that thing online about Hassie Gower saying that they've managed to get more plastic, but the price increase has been quite dramatic?"
Oh, you're talking about because of the oil crisis?
Yeah, so polystyrene, the price of polystyrene, obviously it's a byproduct. Well, it's not a byproduct. It's a petroleum-based product.
Right.
And as such, because of the current issues, the price of all petroleum-based products have gone up. And polystyrene is one of those things that has gone up. And in fact, there's been some issues getting hold of polystyrene. So it'd be interesting to see how much the kits go up by. But having been in the plastics industry many years ago, and Ian will know this as well, it's not the cost of the plastic that's the real...
it's the packaging.
It's the packaging that's the expensive part.
The
and all that.
packaging and the instructions.
Decals
and
and instructions, yeah.
The plastic, you usually, for a 48 scale aircraft, you're probably looking at about 10 cents worth of plastic.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, and speaking of what you were saying before about Forge World, so when I was in Japan, you can go to the Warhammer store that they've got there, and they sell Forge World in the store,
Wow.
on the shelves,
Wow.
and all of them are in white boxes.
Yep.
So you literally have to look at the names and go,
Yep.
what the hell is that? And
Well-
look it up on your phone, and then, oh, okay, that's what that is. Okay, because
Yeah.
you will never be able to tell
Well, I
otherwise.
bought a Warhound Titan. And
Yeah,
that thing just came in a brown box.
yeah, brown box.
No
Mind you,
running
that was
on
a long time ago, and you
Yeah.
got it, you know?
Edward does the same thing with their Overtrees. White
Yeah.
box,
Yeah.
Yep.
no instructions, no decals. It's just the sprues, and they're selling them to you for $9.
Yeah.
But there's probably 30 cents worth of plastic
Yeah.
in the box.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
think you're getting a great deal, and they're probably making more off that kit than they are
Yeah.
the full boat kit.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That they are.
And to be fair, most stuff that Ian orders comes in brown boxes anyway, so it's not like it's...
Yeah, it does actually. Funny you should say that because they all come. They come from B&A, and they B&A have brown boxes.
On the bench has got one of those Razor sponsorships.
Yeah, funny you should say that. I did another pre-order this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the Edward
Yeah, the
P4,
problem-
the Edward P40K.
Dave,
Toolboxing.
Dave, the problem is the boxes that show up at Ian's. Every once in a while, they're vibrating, and the postman's starting to get a little nervous.
So ones that are ticking, the ones you got to watch out for.
Yeah, you got to be worried because he might start throwing the box the last few meters, not wanting to get too
Right.
close to the building. You know,
Yep.
you're going to end up with some broken models in there.
Yes.
So what are you guys up to next? You've just recently dropped your latest episode. What do you got coming up on your shows in the future?
Well,
We-
the one thing we've got, going is this week. Mike and I leave Thursday to go to the AMPS National,
Oh, has it come up already?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's come up quick.
South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we'll do one of our show spotlights here. I need to get that recorded. I'd like to get some of it done this week, if not all of it. And then we were going to do an episode, well, in our 12-minute model sphere that we put out at the first of the month. That topic's going to change just because of timing. I'm not going to have time to pull that's going to require me to get like 3 different people, not all at once, but record 3 different segments individually and stitch it all together later. So we got something else we're going to do. We recorded some stuff at Hamilton that's got a lot of good material in it, I think. So I'm going to chop that up and use 3 or 4 of those segments to put together an episode right after we get back from AMPS, probably.
Cool.
And then in May, I'm not sure yet. We don't plan that too far ahead. Well, we do, but we don't really record that too far ahead.
Well, and we've got Wonderfest coming up at the end of May, beginning of June.
Oh, I want to get to
Yeah.
Wonderfest so bad.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Dave-
That show.
You really have to see it.
Oh, no.
It's different. It is just, and the modeling that goes on there is kind of cutting edge
Yeah.
stuff that you see there. You'll see in regular model shows 5 years down the road. I mean, the 3D printing, the light kits, all of the technology that is kind of bleeding edge is stuff these guys lean into.
Yeah.
And really, really neat stuff.
I watched a lot of YouTube videos of science fiction builders and just love watching the stuff they do on lights. And there was a guy I'd teamed up from the UK who's got this fantastic light system where you don't it's all programmable. Each individual light is programmable off your phone or off an app that he's developed. And I keep meaning to get him on the show, and we're having, because of the time difference between here and the UK, it's so hard to get hold of somebody, especially when we record. I might have to do it off our usual sort of schedule and just splice it into an episode. But it's really interesting stuff, and just watching the techniques that they do and how they've embraced 3D printing and 3D printing, clear plastic now as well. And it's just, yeah, you're right, it's cutting edge. But above and beyond that, just seeing all that sci-fi and real space stuff and all in one place a show dedicated to that is just just blows my little mind.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mind you, it doesn't come out of the printer looking all perfect.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You have to.
Yep.
Well, and the models are only part of Wonderfest. That they'll be.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there was he was the actor that played the primary pilot in Space 1999. Was there the last time I was there? I think
Landau?
the time before that.
The primary
Yeah.
pilot. Yeah. I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of the studio models from the show at the at Wonderfest.
I'm betting this year, because it's the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, I'm betting that they probably have a Star Trek centric show this time.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bunch of bad haircuts and rubber ears.
Well, Doug, you had a lot to do with the show a while ago, didn't you? You used to be quite heavily involved in it.
Well, I know the guys who run it, and back when they were getting it off the ground, I incorporated the corporation that actually owns and runs the show.
Right.
It is, unlike most club shows, it's actually a for-profit business.
Yeah. Okay.
And their biggest problem is they've been in the same space forever, and
It's too small.
It's outgrown.
yeah,
Yep.
they need 50% more space.
Wow. What a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and then next year is another big one.
Which one?
2027's the Star Wars anniversary.
Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
So
Well, if Dave comes back to my old Kentucky home in 2027 for Wonderfest,
Yeah.
he'll be able to go to that one.
Well, I got a real good deal on flights across to the US this time. So I fly there premium economy and I fly back business class. I did it all for about $4,000 Aussie.
Gee, that's good.
Nice.
I know. It was just a deal that was floating around and I snapped it up.
Jeez.
Couldn't believe it. Because I hate flying anywhere beyond 8 hours in coach. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, it wasn't much fun.
Hey,
I'll be honest with you, Dave. It wasn't much fun. That was a lot.
try
What was it,
to-
what, 26 hours, I think?
Look, the
All
trick
up?
the trick is to never ever go above economy. That way you'll never know what you're missing out on.
try doing 13 hours New York to Beijing in steerage class on a 747 that Orville and Wilbur had time on.
And you had babies on the back return trip, didn't
yeah.
you?
Yes, and I had a baby, new child on the return trip.
Oh, my
Oh, wow.
You're back there in the wagon tail part of the
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
where there's chickens running down the aisle.
Yeah.
Well, the last time I sat in the back of a 747, all the way back in the seat back there, you could still smoke.
Geez, that's going
Oh,
back a
wow.
while.
Yeah. They made the last two rows were smoking rows. As I was
Did you have a
slowly
smoke?
Of course
Oh
you
yeah,
did. That's
puffed
why you
away to
went
my
there.
heart's content. It was. Oh, sorry, I have to beep the F word out. Whoops.
Dave broke his rule.
That's because he was talking about smoking and he just immediately rolled all the way back into his army days.
Oh gosh. Gotta keep it PG, man. Gotta keep it PG.
Dave, you'll be happy to know in the bedroom you're staying is the print that we gave you all for the 200th show.
Well, funny you should say that because Ian has got it right here and he's going to raise it up.
Yep, we've all got ours.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've got one of those. Mike and I each have one of those, and I have mine framed, and it's in that bedroom.
oh, good. I'll
Cool.
feel at home then.
Yeah.
I'll feel at home.
Exactly my point.
Yep. Just going to figure out what we can do for you boys for your 200th, which is coming up pretty quick. You're pumping them out.
Yep, it's probably about 9 months away, Mike.
I'd have to do the math because I don't count the shorts we do.
Right, we don't count those.
Right.
we just
So
count
it's
the
only
main
it's only
outs.
it, according to our host, we've already gotten there, but it's not that's not real. That doesn't count. It's got to be feature episodes.
Yep.
It's got to be the real deal.
Because we're on
Not our-
16. We're on 161 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's about a
Well, so
year away.
there's 26 episodes a year.
Yeah.
doing it bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Well,
Dave, I want you to know
doing
that
it
episode
doing it
one-
twice a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, episode 172 is going to be an extra special episode.
Oh, good. I'll make sure. Well, I tune into all your shows, so it's not like I'm going to miss out on it. But I'll give me something to look forward to.
We're gonna steal the idea you regretted passing by when you had episode 72.
Oh yes, gosh. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, we were so stupid because episode 144 you could have done purely one, you know, 144 scale, and episode 148 we could have done 148 scale. We're just that opportunity's gone. It's in the rearview mirror now.
Yeah, we got to wait a few more years before we do an episode then on the true scale for ship modelling.
Yeah, 1/350.
350. No, I'm looking forward to 1/700.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
That's a fair few years down the track, mate.
We'll have to go back to doing weekly so I can get to it pretty quick. Guys, it's been actually awesome having you on the show.
Has, yes.
Well, thanks for having us again. I'm glad we got it worked out, and we're really looking forward to you coming over, man.
And thank you for pushing it a day so that we could watch Artemis splash down.
Yeah, well, just for the audience, we were supposed to record this yesterday, which was the 11th of April, and Mike sort of says via Dave, he says, "Hey, you know, there's kind of something special on that day, and that's the return of Artemis 2," and I'm going. It completely slipped my mind when I set the date because I'm a big.
Well, it probably didn't because the scheduling was so in flux that
that's true too.
You didn't really know.
No. And so we've bumped the show one day so that Kentucky Dave, Mike, and myself could sort of sit and watch that coming back because it's been, we were saying off air, it's been 54 years since I last saw somebody return from the moon.
Yeah.
Well, I told you. I guess in the message stream we had going that the schedule kept pushing and pushing and pushing. It pushed into a zone where I had a bunch of scheduled vacation already, namely 2 model shows. And I kid you not, in our Lexington office there is probably 20, almost 30 people.
Yeah.
It was a big program for us, so it used up a lot of the resources. Counting me, that week they were in Florida prepping for the launch after I shipped all the crap down there. There were 6 people in the office.
Well, Mike, let's just back up a bit.
Unfortunately, I was one of them.
Mike, just back up a bit. So for those who, very few people, like the 1 or 2 people who don't listen to your show, can you kind of explain a bit more about what we're talking about?
I work for a company that makes payload packages that primarily go up to the International Space Station. So there's this flight coming up, SpaceX 34 in a few weeks. And we've got a handful of experiments going up for that for various clients. But we had a program on the Artemis flight called Avatar. And it was a biological experiment where they took bone marrow samples from each of the 4 astronauts that crewed the mission. And they were flown in a payload that kept the biological conditions right, temperature conditions right for these things to continue to live, and the effects of microgravity and near zero gravity versus the control experiment, which was on the ground in a laboratory. So we don't know the results yet. They just unpacked the thing today. And
but something that you physically touched and had a hand in.
Yeah, there were certain mechanical components of that thing that I actually put together and
went round the moon and came back again.
Yeah, it's
pretty cool, isn't it?
It's
pretty cool, and
you could die tomorrow with a smile on your face knowing that, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I could. I hope I don't die tomorrow, though.
No, I don't either.
I'd rather wake up with a frown on my face.
Very true. Very, very true.
Man, that is just uber cool. It really
sure
is. Yeah. I can't wait.
So I'm hoping you guys can carve out enough time when you come up in the summer here in a few months that you can come by the office.
Well, Dave and I got a couple of days together, about 3 days together.
I can show you what we got going on.
Yeah, because we're not heading off to Nationals until the Wednesday, are we?
Right.
And I'm planning
Monday we'll go to Hunts. Probably Monday we'll go to Huntsville.
So I'm planning to get to Louisville on either Saturday night probably, or Saturday afternoon. So yeah.
So we've got time.
Yeah, we've got time.
We'll work it out. We'll come up and bug Mike at his work.
Oh, jeez. The 14-year-old inside me is all giddy with excitement.
And I'll leave early.
Okay, guys. So for people, like I said, for the 2 or 3 individuals who don't listen to our show but don't know who you are, do you want to give your radio station ID a call out?
It is Plastic Model Mojo. And you can find us at plasticmodelmojo.com. You can get all the episodes there, or you can get it just about anywhere else you can find your podcasts.
Sounds good.
Fantastic show. Fully recommended by us. We're all good friends, and these guys is absolutely awesome. The stuff they produce is gold. It really is. So go and check them out and give them a listen. All right, guys. Thanks very much for being on the show.
Right.
Yeah, it's been awesome chatting to you again.
Take it easy.
Have a good rest of your day.
No
Yeah,
worries.
you
Catch
too.
you later. Bye.
Bye.
Well, it's good catching up with
Dave and Mike.
Dave and Mike. Yeah.
Definitely always good catching up
Yeah,
with
it's
those
always
two.
fun. And,
Good value.
I can't wait to get over there and catch up with those guys in August. It's gonna be
Oh,
fun.
look, I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to go
Your
back.
time will come. Your time will come.
Except not for 3 weeks.
What?
Nah, too short.
I'm only going for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, how long did we go last time? Was it 2 or 3 weeks?
Oh, we did 3 weeks because we went to Hawaii first.
Yep.
Then we went to Nats and we went to DC, remember?
Yep.
And
That was only 2 weeks.
that's where, remember?
That was 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think so. We're in DC and we're in that park right next to the White House.
You're going to bring this story
I'm going to
up
bring it up
again.
because it's funny as hell. And I said, oh, look, there's a couple of dudes up on the roof. And Julian goes, no, they're cardboard cutouts. And it wasn't. They're real men.
You really sort of bought into that.
Oh, well, and then there's a time where Ian helped out.
It helped that they didn't move.
What the Secret Service did?
You helped the Secret Service dude out. He went running past you and he stopped and he said, have you seen somebody blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, the shifty looking dude in the white shirt who's down there. Be aware of your surroundings, Dave, if you're in a foreign place, mate.
I had no idea.
You were away with the fairies.
I was. Glad to see you.
Dreaming of chaps.
We had a great steak too in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah, that was nice, yeah.
I love Washington, D.C. It was a beautiful, clean city and it was...
Well, great people, great.
Well, I mean,
but geez,
we-
I've got to say, I'll be honest, and I don't want to get hung for this, but guys, you really got to fix your beer.
Oh, but hang on, we went in that famous bar and we had a good beer there.
I don't know. Actually, I asked for what he really suggested, and it was freaking horrible.
That's why you always ask for a lager.
Can't
go wrong.
Just next time I go to the States, I'll just ask for Coronas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, Jess, thanks very much for being with us. We'll be back in a
See you in a fortnight.
Catch you later. Bye.
See ya.